What's going on, crypto people? Let's go. It's Brooklyn and the bridge. Miss Crypto Siege is in the building. Raphael the Moore, what's good, bro? Pookie. What's up with you, Pookie? Life is good. The FTX CEO, boy, he had a long day this afternoon. Wow. This morning and this afternoon. What's going on, Dano? We're going to cover some of that testimony. It's Brooklyn and the bridge. Got a new setup here, working on some things. It's good to see the fam again. Lots of crazy stuff coming from this testimonies from the new and current FTX CEO. Very, very interesting. So listen, guys, what's going on in this crypto siege? With another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. What an interesting time. Man, oh man, to be an early adopter in this new asset class that is the digital asset space. Lots of crazy stuff going on. We're going to get into it for sure. Hope you like my new setup. And it's just very, very interesting. We've got a few clips from the testimony. Of course, we got Tom Emmer just going in on Chair Gensler and not letting that one slip by for sure. 3+ hours. 3+ hours in this committee hearing before Congress. Wow. The FTX CEO seems like a really, really smart guy. Tom Emmer did hint at some investigation into the SEC that I'm sure is not going to go away. And Senator Patrick McHenry early in the beginning did as well. So it's very, very interesting to see what is going on. Paul Bogo is in the building. He says, "Hi, brother. Finally, you're live." Yes, sir. It's good to be back, man. It's good to be back doing live streams for sure. This market is absolutely crazy. I know in the XRP community over the last couple of days, the XRP buyback has been a really interesting thing. It's been a big topic for sure. I saw Crypto Lulu, I think as he calls himself. He did a video, I guess trying to defend himself or make people understand what's going on there. I'm like, everybody's got to do what it is they got to do. But interesting. What's going on, Heather? Good to see you checking in again in the stream. Love it when the ladies of crypto check in. Love it. So guys, listen, it's interesting stuff. Anybody have any questions about that? I can certainly cover that. A little bummed that Jeremy Hogan from Legal Briefs is done. He's done with the SEC versus Ripple case. That's sad to see, sad to hear, but the dude has been a big time value add. Jeremy and Ben Vu have been absolutely outstanding. And appreciate you guys. Want to let you know from the Crypto Seizures fam and all of the XRP family that you will be missed for sure. We definitely appreciate everything that you've done to add value to this community for sure, man. So this market, it's doing what it does. I mean, what can you say? The market is doing what the market does. I'm not sure if you can say anything more. Peter Booge is in the building. How are you, bro? That's right. Smash that like button, guys. We're gonna break that YouTube algorithm. Just so I found out that the channel does have a shadow ban on it. And it has for almost a year. And it's really kind of around that time when I started talking about not just Chair Gensler, but just started talking more and more about Sullivan Cromwell. Started talking more and more about the regulators and the banking regulators. And yeah, then it happened. But the best of the channels kind of go through it. I'm just going to continue to provide content. Hopefully, you guys will share this channel out on Twitter, share it out amongst your community, so that we can break that subscriber channel ban thing going on. Kevin Chapita, what's going on? It's been a minute, my guy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Where are you checking in from, Kevin, again? Where are you checking in from? Heather, I forgot to ask you, where are you checking in from? I know you said you've been listening for a while, but where are you checking in from? So, guys, I don't know where to start. Look, I don't know what the SEC Ripple case is about, but I think it was Stefan Huber. By the way, the SEC just happened to bring a suit against Sam Bankman-Fried right at the same time that he happens to get pulled into jail. Kevin, South Africa, there you go. Appreciate you being here, checking in all the way from South Africa, my friend. Heather's in Nashville, Tennessee. Love Tennessee. Absolutely love Tennessee. Been to Tennessee. Got good friends in Tennessee as well. Peter Vuj is checking in from the Netherlands. Looking good and doing it. Where are you checking in from, my friend? So, but yeah, so the SEC filed the lawsuit. Stefan pointed out some very, very interesting stuff in that lawsuit from the SEC against Sam Bankman-Fried that I find to be very, very fascinating. Look at this, the hip hop gangster himself, Blockchain Monkeys, is in the building. What's good, my guy? Pville. Dano, what is Pville? Is that Pflugerville? Is that Pflugerville? Dano? Is that Pflugerville? Life is good. You're right, Pookie. Life is definitely good. So listen, I don't even know where to start, but I do want to point out the interesting thing in the SEC's lawsuit. It was fascinating to me, but Stefan Huber did catch it. He caught it. Let me find it for you guys and I'll share it. But he did catch the differences, the very, very distinct differences between the lawsuit that the SEC brought against Ripple and the lawsuit that the SEC has brought against SBF. And I think it's significant to note because it's important that what the SEC keeps saying that they're doing in terms of providing clarity to digital assets. It's very, 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 very interesting. Let me see if I can find it. Stefan Huber caught the difference. And I think it's important how you reference this token. I can get my internet to cooperate here. Come on. And how they reference the FTT token and how they reference the XRP. Got that to work, thank goodness. But it is very, very interesting to see the differences. And it's very, very subtle and you can almost miss it. Tom Emmer called out the SEC in what he believes is them knowing from day one. From day one, what FTX was doing. That's not a great look. That's not a great look at all. Let's see, Stefan. They knew from day one, and they didn't do anything. I have it saved here if I can find it. There, yeah, here it is here. Good. I'm going to share this with you guys because this is important. Forgive me, my laptop is jumping around like crazy here. Hold on one second. I may have to just go to Stefan's tweets if this is thing that's not going to cooperate. They're like it reorganizes. Oh my gosh. It reorganizes. Well, what he pointed out, and this is going to take me forever to find this, but what he did point out was that in the lawsuit itself, the SEC called the FTT token the asset of the FTX exchange. So they said the FTT was the asset of the FTX exchange. But in the SEC versus Ripple case, they reference XRP as an unregistered security. That's how they reference it in the suit. But they actually call it the FTT token, the asset, or maybe even the digital asset of the exchange, and never referenced an unregistered security, which is fascinating to me. And Stefan also pointed out that it's the same Jorge Tenrero. I don't want to say his name the wrong way. It's the same dude. It is the same dude. Now, I find that to be fascinating that there's a major fraud going on. They sued Coinbase employees for unregistered securities. We got an $8 to $10 billion fraud case on a digital asset exchange, and there is no reference to an unregistered security. Where in the Ripple case, there was no fraud, no commingle, no fraud whatsoever. And instead of saying that the XRP is the asset that's attached to the XRPL ledger, they call it an unregistered security. The fact that they omitted that on the SBF case, to me, speaks volumes to the kind of the madness that is the SEC. It really does speak madness, to what's going on there. It really does speak to the absolute just the madness going on. Yep. Blockchain. This is nuts. Greetings, Siege. Hope all is well. What's going on? My friend, it's good to see you. Penthouse to the jailhouse, 100%. Oh, Massachusetts is in the building. Yeah, I used to hang out in Massachusetts back in the day. And I want to say Dearborn, but that doesn't sound right. Where is Dearborn at? It's not Dearborn. It was somewhere else in Massachusetts. Yeah, life is good, but that is an interesting, very, very interesting thing. So what do I want to cover? Let's go over the market real quick. And then I'm going to share these testimonies. And I'm telling you, these testimonies from Mr. Ray, the questions from the committee. Yeah, very, very telling. Let's see here. There's the market. Look, Bitcoin is at $17,776, interestingly enough. And the total cryptocurrency market cap is $905 billion. The Bitcoin dominance is at 37.7%. It's a horrible number if you're looking for an altcoin season. Horrible. Ethereum is trading $1,318, and XRP is trading at 39 cents. 39 cents. And the whole bull run thing is certainly not looking like it's going to happen anytime soon for altcoins. And I've always said that I believe that hashtag Gary Gensler is not your friend. came into this space to turn it over to his banking buds from the likes of Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. I always believe that because he was not publicly elected. He was privately selected and ushered to the front of the room before the current administration to do the bidding of those banks, banking regulators. I firmly 10,000, no one could convince me otherwise. Now, let me do this before I go tell these testimonies. Make sure I said hey to everybody checking in. Kyle T. Moore, what's good? Dearborn, Michigan, yeah. Raphael Moore, there it is. I used to hang out in Dearborn, Michigan. Good friends out there in Dearborn. Very popular place in Boston I used to hang out, but I can't remember the name of it now. But anyway, Dearborn, what's going on, Kyle? Good to see you. Yep, looking good doing it. Yep, the SEC did not state that the FTT token was a security. Didn't. Now, I think it says something about ongoing investigation into securities violations. Ongoing investigations. All right, so let's see here. Let's go to these testimonies. Come on. I feel like this thing reorders what I save, which is crazy. All right, here's a really good question and back and forth between Representative Bill Huizenga and the current CEO of FTX, John Ray. Representative Bill Huizenga says, today I questioned John Ray, the CEO of FTX, about FTX's unacceptable management practices. It appears Gary Gensler missed multiple red flags while trying to cut a deal with FTX. Congress must provide clarity and hold the SEC accountable. Like, why is this in my thing? I don't know why I did that. Like if the order that I just had, brutal. Oh yeah, let's take a listen to Tom Emmer first. This is what Congress needs to be doing: investigate and provide oversight on the SEC for its failure of FTX. That's from Crypto Law. And this is Representative Tom Emmer. Take a listen to this.
We know that Chair Gensler had more meetings with FTX than anyone else in the crypto industry. We understand that what was being negotiated was a...
Chair Gensler had more meetings with SBF than any other person or entity in the crypto industry. How do you explain that?
A framework for digital asset exchange registration and token registration with the SEC that would benefit both parties. It would expand the SEC's jurisdiction in exchange for the SEC's preferential treatment of FTX over other industry participants. We understand there was a lot of activity to move this idea forward, including the circulation of draft short-form disclosures that would enable filers to get tokens listed on this newly formed bespoke exchange. Mr. Ray, I know you're handicapped with the information you currently have obtained, but Chair Gensler refuses to answer our questions or testify before this committee. Will you commit to sharing with this committee any internal documents you come across regarding communication between FTX and Mr. Gensler or others at the SEC?
We'll fully cooperate, with the committee and the regulatory authorities with respect to our investigation.
Again, specifically, I just want copies that this committee will want copies of those communications to the extent they exist.
We can certainly work with your staff to get you what you need.
Thank you.
Did you hear the first part of that? Number one, he's met with Sam Bankman. Someone was calling him Sam Bankman fraud in the hearing. I forget who that was. But in any case, he met with SBF more than any other Coinbase couldn't get a meeting with this dude. And he's meeting with Chair Gensler, and Tom Emmer is stating that because they were putting something together to give the SEC more oversight over the digital asset space and to give the FTX essentially a free pass. Am I not hearing that correct? That's what that sounded like to me. Let's take another listen.
We know that Chair Gensler had more meetings with FTX than anyone else in the crypto industry. We understand that what was being negotiated was a framework for digital asset exchange registration and token registration with the SEC that would benefit both parties.
Yeah, I heard it correct. That is troubling. Where's the other good one I have here? That is very, very troubling. Hopefully the internet will cooperate. Oh, okay. It was John Deaton who was calling SBF Sam Bankman fraud. when he was on with Charles Payne. That's where it was. I'm like, I know I saw that somewhere. I know I saw it somewhere. Oh, let me share this with you too. This is where Tom Emmer earlier on a tweet referenced that the SEC knew from the beginning about FTX. It says here, this is the thing that was filed in court at the Southern District of New York, the suit against SBF from the SEC. It says, from the inception of FTX, Bankman-Fried diverted FTX customers' funds to Alameda, and he continued to do so until the FTX's collapse in November of 2022. Now, there is a shot that they're getting this information as John Ray gets it to them. I mean, there's a chance like that they may have just got this information last week as opposed to before before the collapse, so I'll give them the benefit of that. But this is what they're stating in the lawsuit here against Sam Bankman-Fried. This is what they're stating. So again, I do find it very, very, very interesting that they probably knew about this from the beginning. That's a very, very telling statement when they say, when Tom Emmer says that he met with Sam Bankman-Fried more than he has met with anyone in the digital asset space. Sam Bankman-Fried just got in the space. He just entered in. You know what I mean? He just entered the space. Paul Bogle says, just off topic, I replied to Alex to push Nuke to speak to Hugo about our Flare token. He actually replied. Who actually replied? Hugo, and said, we'll see if you can contact him. So what do you mean by that, Paul? Who is the you there, and who replied? Because last I heard, Hugo said that he was not going to be sending the Spark token if Morris Prince said, Siege, later at lunch, listen in. All right, my friend. Thanks for checking in, Morris Prince. Good to see you. That he was not going to be sending out the Spark token, the Flare token. It is Flare now. The Flare token. If the team at Celsius would not agree to provide accessibility to withdraw that. So, and then I got some really, really, bad crypto Twitter stuff from a supposed employee who is just saying some not great things about Nuke and or the Flare token. So help me out there, Paul. You see, to speak to Hugo, and you saying Alex replied back and said, we'll see if you can contact him. So what I'm expecting, Paul, is I'm just expecting it not to be done for Celsius or anyone at Celsius to help out in any way, and that those tokens are going to be burned, and that Hugo will have to find another way to get those tokens to people. I know it's going to be a challenge in terms of verifying what amount and stuff like that, but I think that can be done. But that's the only thing I can kind of see there. So, guys, what do you guys think about the fact that Chair Gensler was meeting with SBF, and he has done so more so than anyone else in crypto, more so than with Coinbase, more so than with Kraken, more so than with anyone else? He met with Sam Bankman-Fried more so, in that they were looking to kind of, if you will, kind of get a monopoly on the space. FTX wanted to get a monopoly, and the bill that they were trying to push was definitely going to give the SEC jurisdiction in a big time way over the space. I think that's very, very, very interesting. Do I have a delay going on here? I think I may have a little bit of delay. Let me know if it's delaying on your end, guys. Heather says it's bad, so bad, embarrassing. Honestly, yeah, it is. It's pretty shameful. I miss Morris Prince checking in, but I definitely appreciate you doing it, my guy. I think there may be a little bit of a delay in the chat, so a little bit of a bad streaming going on. I hate to refresh it, because if I refresh it, it might disconnect. Let's see if we can't take a listen to Senator Representative Huizenga. Or Representative Huizenga. I said Senator, what in the world? Take a listen to this, guys. This is, I mean, it's 5 minutes, but it's well worth the listen.
Also ask Mr. Bankman-Fried, FTX.com.
Yes, we will do really a tracing analysis.
You've been sharing your findings with the SEC at all as you've been going through this?
Yes.
Okay. How about the Southern District of New York?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to get to a couple of practical questions, because I think these were the things I was going to ask you and then also ask Mr. Bankman-Fried. In your declaration, you said that the, quote, the FTX.com platform was not available to U.S. users, close quote. However, earlier this month, CFTC Chairman Benham suggested in testimony before the Senate Agriculture Committee that 2% of funds housed at FTX.com were from U.S. individuals. Can you confirm whether there were U.S. individuals or in persons, in fact, customers of FTX.com?
Yes, we found that there's a small number of U.S. Customers that had engaged in as customers at that
Is 2% small in your estimation, or is it less or more?
We don't have those kind of numbers on an investor basis. We have it on a customer basis, but you're talking about less than a couple hundred.
But it could amount to billions. I mean, you said earlier it is billions of dollars that was in there, or at least it could be millions or hundreds of thousands. We don't know that number, or do you know that number?
I don't know. I don't know that number. Billions would sound very, very high.
Okay. Well, you had mentioned that there was billions in it.
Yes. Yeah, but clearly,
I'm giving you the range.
Yeah, clearly, as U.S. customers, there we don't have an accounting of what those particular customers had in the .com exchange.
Will determining this be part of your work through this bankruptcy process?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Will part of your work be determining which assets belong to which customers, more specifically U.S. customers of FTX.com?
Yes, we will do really a tracing analysis that will try to identify, both the sources and the uses of all the funds.
So whether it's 10 customers that had a lot of money or 1,000 customers that had some money.
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you provide some indication of whether customer funds from FTX.com?
Okay, that's too much of a delay there. Let me share and do this. All right, all good here, says Heather. Okay.
Were in fact transferred to Alameda Research?
Well, definitely assets of customers in the .com silo were transferred to Alameda, no question about it. We have not seen this at this stage from the U.S. silo. But of course, we do have one concern, and that's the concern we're chasing down, which is whether or not there's commingling between that .com silo and the U.S. silo exchanges. And the reason for that is we know that there was sort of common control and access of authorized users at this most senior management level amongst all of the assets. So it's something we have to focus on. We haven't seen evidence right now of that, but certainly that's something we need to investigate and trace.
Okay, and my remaining 2 minutes, I want to turn a little bit to operations. Is there any evidence of his parents' involvement in the operations?
What's that?
We're investigating that, as well as any other players in the
Email, Slack,
signals. It's billions of records. It's a very vibrant environment.
So I hear that you haven't discovered that. I mean, it would seem interesting that that they didn't either give legal advice or business advice or parental advice, maybe.
Well, certainly, clearly, I think in our first day papers we indicated that that Mr. Bankman had given legal advice.
Okay, had he been an employee of FTX? Has it been reported?
I don't know if he actually had an employee status, but he certainly received payments from. The family did receive payments.
Okay, that sounds like employment to me. You got a payment for, okay.
The family did receive payments from FTX. Just not a great look. Oh, appreciate that, Paul. Appreciate you clearing it up. Brian Alexander, do a PI network video, bro. I don't know what PI network is. That is, so why would his parents be receiving payments from FTX? What? We all know about the real estate they bought. Parents, himself. I think, is Caroline still his girlfriend? I'm not sure that she is, but I know the parents and Sam, right? Then they buy a bunch of real estate, and apparently they're buying this real estate with customer funds. That is what you call not a good look. I want to switch gears for just a second and talk about this little interview that Jim Rickards did with Daniela Camboni. Very, very interesting that he's talking about the world reserve, the US dollar as the world reserve currency, and then talking about a payment system. Very, very interesting to me that they talk about this here. I'm going to share this if I can. This is interesting stuff. Take a listen.
For what we're talking about, which is a world where the dollar as a reserve currency will not be deposed overnight, but as a payment currency, there's a difference between a reserve currency and a payment currency.
Right.
Anything can be a payment currency. If I want to pay you with baseball cards and bottle caps, and you're okay with that, then it's a currency. So when we see the BRICS Plus, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, OPEC Plus. China individually, all these countries are the Eurasian European Economic Union, which is Putin's answer to the EU. All of these organizations are working on new payment systems right now, and they're going to start to roll them out this year and later. So that's going to be a radical change in how we pay for things.
And I think that's such an important.
Yeah, and the payment systems, again, for us in the XRP community, it is massive. Because, we say in the channel all the time, when the IMF and the BIS and central banks and the G7 and G20 nations hear digital assets or hear cryptocurrency, that that right? But when you bring up cross-border payments, you're sitting up in their seat. Everyone begins to listen. So RippleNet is a payments network, right, with banks on it and financial institutions, SMEs, and money transmitter businesses. This is what 801_XRP said. The dollar as a reserve currency, quoting Jim Rickards, will not be deposed overnight, but as a payment currency, BRICS Open, China, and individually, all these countries are working on a new payment system, right? A new payment system right now will start to roll out this year and later this year. So, again, I still say that given all that Ripple is, the company, given the fact that they chose to leverage the XRP ledger and to make their foundation the asset XRP, and being a U.S. company, I just don't see how they are going to let Japan and parts of Saudi Arabia and the Middle East and Australia, I can't see how they're going to let those nations leverage the technology of a United States company, if you will, for the most part, and not do it here in the States. I don't see how that is possible. What is the United States plan to the response of the BRICS plus and the OPEC plus, Saudi Arabia becoming more and more interested in participating in BRICS and what they got going on? Egypt, I think just entered in as well. That's why they're calling it BRICS plus. What is going to be the United States response to that? Is it going to just merely be a digital dollar? Is it going to be a stable coin? What is it going to be? Because in the end, if SWIFT gets better, there's still not a settlement mechanism there that it can compare with XRP and the XRP ledger. So no matter how good they may get in their messaging, the actual settlement still is not there. And is the U.S. going to let other nations leverage this technology and let a good old U.S. of A company leave, like Nexo is doing, and let other nations leverage this technology? It does not make sense to me at all that they would do that. It doesn't make sense to me at all that they would do that. Is it lagging? Let's see. She says good. Winston P. Prescott says they won't. Daniel says, I think Gary Gensler bought into FTX like all the rest, tried to use SPF like a tool and it failed. He's got dirty hands now. That is without question. That is exactly what's going on. And, I just think, Chairman Waters and, that her initial response in that hearing is just, her opening remarks, I should say, in that hearing is just, it is such a political move. It's hard for me to believe that she wants to get to the bottom of this whole SPF thing when, just months later, she blowing the dude kisses, right? So I think it's a big time political thing. And I think the lifelong politicians want to watch that, try to get as clean as they possibly can, Dano, from this whole nonsense. And I agree. That's why they arrested him, to shut him up. I agree 100%. Absolutely agree with that 100%, because the timing of it is right before, he's about to speak before Congress, he gets arrested. I mean, there are just people in place who just think that the masses are so stupid and or have their head in the sand that they're just not going to notice. And the fact of the matter is, the vast majority of people don't know about the digital assets. The vast majority of people have no idea who Sam Bankman-Fried is and what he did. Have no clue. Had no clue, right? And so for me, bringing him in was a way to keep him from testifying and incriminating himself even more. That's what I believe. Because why the arrest all of a sudden? It just felt very, I think that's really more so the real deal. Right now, he's going to be lawyered up all over the place. He's going to be completely protected, and these claims that, Maxine Waters, we're going to get to the bottom of this. I don't believe it. John is in the building. What's going on? Wow, finally caught the siege live. Yes, sir. What's going on, John? Appreciate you being here. I definitely appreciate you being here, my friend. So, I think it's interesting. We'll see if they really do anything about it. Here is the lawsuit from the SEC from at least May of 2019 to November of 2022. Bankman-Fried engaged in a scheme to defraud equity investors in FTX Trading Ltd, the crypto asset trading platform of which he was CEO and co-founder, at the same time that he was also defrauding the customers, the platform's customers. It's interesting what the SEC is doing. Let me share this because I think you want to see hashtag Gary Gensler. Today, we charged FTX Trading CEO and co-founder Sam Bankman-Fried with orchestrating a scheme to defraud equity investors. So the scheme is to defraud the equity investors. Investigations as to other securities laws violations and to other entities and persons relating to the alleged misconduct are ongoing. So that kind of answers the question about why there was no securities, unregistered securities allegations there, but I really think that's more about Gary Gensler more so than anything else. If he met with him more so than any other crypto industry associate or someone involved in the industry, what was the homework done? Yeah. Why wasn't any homework done? And that's the reason why it wasn't done, because he was trying to get upper hand. And Sam Bankman-Fried was going to, try to push a bill that would give Gary Gensler and the SEC more power. We allege that Sam Bankman-Fried built a house of cards and a foundation of deception while telling investors that it was one of the safest buildings in crypto, says Gary Gensler. The alleged fraud committed by Mr. Bankman-Fried is a clarion call to crypto platforms that they need to come into compliance with our laws. The people from Library and Nexo have Library more point of fact than Nexo pretty much insinuating that there is no way to come into compliance. You can go in there and try to fill out paperwork, but you end up at a dead end. That's what Nexo said. After 18 months, there was no way to comply as a crypto platform. None, no way. And that Gary Gensler knows that there is no way for them to come into compliance. Why is that? Why is that? I still believe it. Try to convince me otherwise, but I still believe that he is here to do the bidding of the incumbent banking regulators and the powers that be. So at worst, They can buy these crypto. I mean, think about it. Celsius, 3 Hours Capital, Voyager, BlockFi. Think about those firms. Genesis may possibly be going down. Think about that. The major players in the space are going down. And the rumor on the street is that Sam Bankman-Fried is responsible for all of it, including Terra Luna. Including Terra Luna. And it's coming out that they also tried to depeg Tether. Why would Sam Bankman-Fried be in the business of trying to depeg Tether? I just think that he came into the space to try to bring it down. He came, right? How do you get the access that he got? Right? How do you get that access? It ain't just because of the money. How did he get the access? Someone had to open these doors. There's people with money that don't get access. How did he get the access to Congress that he did? And why short sell token? Why take out 3 Hours Capital and Celsius and why do what he did to BlockFi? Why take out the major players? Because he knew that if he could take out those, continue to take out those, it would be just contagion effect. Why come after these crypto firms? Why not just be an exchange doing trading and trading against the customers like all the other exchanges? Why do you need to do all the short selling and to take down crypto firms? I believe he was a plant just to take down the big players in the space. I really, truly do believe that. And I do believe that bringing him and getting him arrested was a way for him not to get some big time questions thrown at him and, to protect certain people. I really do believe that. It's a sham. It is a sham. It is a sham. It is a freaking sham. Darcy, what's going on, my friend? They are all lying. Yes, they are 100%. So that again, if you haven't checked out the testimonies, it was a lot of great stuff there. A lot of really good questions. I couldn't wait to hear from Tom Emmer. For sure, Pat McHenry he was in the beginning. He had some really good stuff as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to play out the next few weeks and months. What really is this lawsuit going to be about? Will they go after the FTT token eventually for unregistered security? It's going to be very interesting to see if they're going to do that. Because I just think that statement of saying that he did harm to the equity investors from the SEC and Gary Gensler is just shameful. What about the platform holders? Their money is gone. The unsecured creditors gone. He said he's supposed to be protecting the investor. Where was it? Where was the protection? He's meeting with them all the time. You and I know he could care less. He could care less about the average Joe and average Jane in this space. Just out here trying to win, trying to create generational wealth, trying to grow YouTube channels in this space. They could care less about us. It's about his banking buds. Without question, it is about his banking buds. So, I'm gonna do the last 5 minutes of any questions that you guys might have. If you got some questions, throw them out here. I'll try to cover a few. Any questions you might have? More and more clips coming. People putting these clips on Twitter. So you guys got any questions for me? Yeah. Oh, that was brutal to hear. John says, Siege, are you leery of Flare? What do you mean by leery, my friend? And receiving the tokens? Oh, been so many scams that now I'm scared to get fully involved with this Flare. I don't have any reservations about Flare. I think Hugo's been pretty transparent. He's had his team on a couple of calls, Zoom calls, for us to get to know and meet. So I don't have any reservations about it. What they're trying to do, I think, what Flare Networks is trying to do is it's such a massive undertaking. It really, really is. And when it launches, it's going to be, the first network to launch fully decentralized from day one. I think that's a massive undertaking. I really, really do. And I think there's, like David Schwartz has said many times, there's a huge upside to what they're doing. What's going on, Face Stamper? How you doing, my friend? Any other questions? Here's your chance. You're welcome, John. That's right. That's right. Any questions? Daniel says, look at the coast of Maine, thousands of $10 million vacation homes. If the masses knew. Yeah, 100%. That is exactly right. Oh, the agent. Yeah. Face Stamper said, my only issue with Flare Network is the agent running with my XRP if it moons. Yep. Legendary is in the building. What's going on? Flare is free. Can't complain too much. I hear you, Legendary. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, there is that risk here. I mean, they Face Stamper. They do have kind of an offset to it, and compensating you in another way. But XRP is a valuable asset. I think that everything today, especially so, is about risk management. You're talking about someone who had over 90% of his assets on a particular centralized exchange in Celsius. That's not risk management. I thought risk management was being more diversified in the digital asset space. And having 90% of your assets in one place that you believe to be whole because it's in the United States, but it's run by a popular CEO in the United States, did you think that you would be safe? But that is a risk management lesson for the ages, right? And so no longer will it be 90%; it will be less than 10%, right? And you're gonna have to control risk management for sure going forward with your ledger, your risk management in participating in Flare networks. There's gonna have to be a measure of risk management there, 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever. There as well. On this channel, we're big on participating in the digital asset space, but risk management is a primo now. It's all about that. I'm not a fan, and I don't begrudge people who want to put everything on a ledger and that's it. But I am in the business of promoting participation as ecosystem. I don't think it grows without participation. I don't think it grows without real world use case. And obviously, what if the banks of the world decided they were just going to hold and they were just going to hang out and not do anything with RippleNet? There would be no participation. Therefore, RippleNet couldn't grow, right? Active participation, network adoption is the key in any space. I can see a high value for Flare if there is a lot of minting or mining. So that's kind of any questions, guys? Make sure I can answer a couple questions before I head off here. But yeah, it's just been a really, really cool hang. Also, guys, oh, that's right. I wanted to let you guys know. Let me share the crypto. The old money doesn't want you to win gear. Here. That's not it. Where is it? Ah, Any questions for the crypto siege? Let's see here. Any questions? Any? I thought I had that up there. Let's see. I know there's a little bit of delay, but I'm going to wait for some questions. There it is. There's the gear there. Old money doesn't want you to win. And they also have it here for ladies. I really like the way the one with the ladies came out. But let me do this. It comes in that's navy. That's black. There's blue. I really like the navy one. And then for the ladies, I think that's really, really cool. There's a pink one. There's a neon pink. Oh my, doesn't want you to win. There's red for sure. The neon pink and blue one look really good. There's the blue. Oh my, doesn't want you to win. Yeah, and that's one of the ways you guys can support the channel for sure. Let me copy this and put this link in this thing in the chat. Do you trust Binance? Darcy, do you trust Binance? Do you trust Binance? Wow. Oh, man. There's a link if you guys want to grab some of the Crypto Siege gear. Old money doesn't want you to win. Again, I think it's big time to remind people that we need the new 1%, and that's a great way to support the channel for sure. Oh, man. I don't know. I'm going to say as obviously US people can't use the regular Binance. I do believe that CZ is a good person in this space. It doesn't mean that everybody's got this one-to-one reserves backing, stuff. I don't know if it's even possible. Like central banks don't have one-to-one. Commercial banks don't have one-to-one. If you got 100,000 in the bank, go try to withdraw it tomorrow. Right. So I think that CZ is a good guy, whether or not his books are up to date in terms of the whole backing. I think that's hard to do. What's your verdict if you were the judge for what the SEC versus Ripple face stamper? See about it. Is that what you're talking about, face stamper, or the SEC versus Ripple? Keyless is in the building. Yep. What's your verdict of view of the judge in the SEC versus Ripple case? I'm not sure if I can be unbiased in that, right? I do know from listening to the attorneys in the space and from reading endless, if you will, op-eds and editorials from securities lawyers. I think the SEC, RC, thank you so much. Love the search, love the shirts, Siege. Thank you, RC. I appreciate that. I think that they're not going to win. That's what I think. And I think that based upon evidence that the SEC has presented, they don't have a shot in heck, because they didn't present anything that that can prove their argument. They haven't presented anything. It's been a sham of a case just to make a dent in the Ripple, the company's coffers. They haven't done anything. So I think that I would agree with Judge Torres, or was it Netburn, who said that they have no any allegiance to the law at all. I think that's very damning. And I think if Judge Torres or Netburn, whoever said that, has noted that, I think that any other judge would note it as well. So if I'm a judge, I would note that and think that the whole thing was a sham. I do think she does, face stamper. I think that she understands the magnitude and the gravity of this case, and I think she wants to make a decision that can be precedent setting. I think she wants to do that. I really, really, really do believe that. BC in the Matrix is in the building. What's good, my guy? So that's what I do think, and I think that. I think she is, and I know Attorney Jeremy Hogan said that she has a reputation of doing that kind of thing, being willing to make a really, really, precedent-setting call in spaces in her court cases. So I think that she will. I think she understands the magnitude, and I just think people are people and judges are people, and I think that people recognize overreach from government agencies when it's very, very in your face. And I think that she's going to recognize the overreach here. And I really, really do. I think she's going to recognize the overreach. And I think she's going to, base her decisions based upon, remember, the SEC has the burden of proof, and it's just not there. Like, the SEC has done a horrible job with it. Now, I do think that summary judgment is going to be the way with the judge. I just, for the longest time, I thought settlement. I don't know if the SEC is going to be willing to give XRP the clarity, give Ripple, the company, the clarity on XRP that it needs. I really don't. So, but if it does, I'm still, 59-41, 55-45 on a settlement. But if it goes to summary judgment, I feel really confident in Ripple winning the summary judgment. I really, really do. I really, really do. So the thing is, how badly does Chair or hashtag Gary Gensler, that is not your friend, how badly does he want to continue his political aspirations? How badly, or do you think he's going to be willing to use a settlement and the number and the fine to help deflect all the nonsense and the harm that he is called by his lack of regulatory clarity? Now, if he can get a win, and the win is only for XRP, you know, Ripple is saying they're fighting for the digital asset space. So it's going to be in the wording in that settlement. Well, Ripple, you know, I don't know. Like, is Ripple going to say, okay, we're good, and everyone in the digital asset space is not? I don't know. Clarity on XRP has said they would, you know, if they could get that, they would settle, said it time and time again. So, and you're right, Face Stamper, Gary needs a win right now. And hey, a fine and giving XRPs in secondary markets, and you know, prior to 2018, fine on that. And today, going forward, it's not. That's a win. That's a big win for Gary Gensler. And I'm just not sure that he would walk away from that. If think about it, if he is going to publicly promote library and go on Yahoo Finance and publicly promote how, you know, he ran Nexo out the door and took down Kardashian, like, what are you going to think? You're going to get a, you know, $200 or $300 million, you know, probably a $300 million fine from, you know, Ripple. What do you think he's going to do with that? You know what I mean? What do you think he's going to do with that? Right. So, but I do think the powers that be, Darcy, are trying to take down the crypto, the big time, you know, the unicorns, the Celsius of the world, I believe that was a plan, in my opinion, to take that Celsius down. And so Goldman can come in and buy him for cheap. I believe that 100%. And I think Gary Gensler, like, the dude can't afford an L. Can he afford an L now? Right? If his political aspirations of being Treasury Secretary is the biggest thing, can he afford an L right now? Can he afford to take the risk of an L and summary judgment? Can he afford that? You know, he's probably going back to his banking buddies and regulators and say, hey, look, we took down Celsius, we took down 3 Hours Capital, Voyager, Voyager, BlockFi, and Nexo is leaving the United States. I'm done. My work is done here. My work is done here. You know, and he's going to, you know, take the, you know, figure out a settlement and move on, right? That's a very, very plausible scenario for me to see play out. It really, really is. All right, guys, thanks so much. Thank you so much for hanging out. It's been a really, 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 really hang. I want to end this video. You know how we do. Thank you so much for hanging out, Face Stamper and Darcy. Keyless, Lady of Crypto, checking in. I appreciate that. RC, Morris, Prince, BC in the Matrix, Chan. I appreciate you guys. RC, Legendary, and Paul Bogle. I appreciate you checking in, my friends. It's been a really Brian Alexander, Winston, Pre-Prescott, Dano, and Paul Bogo, Heather. Appreciate you checking in. It's been a really, 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 really cool hang. I am going to end this video, my friends, like I do all of my videos, and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather that we remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know. That the battle for you has already been fought. And the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.
Old money doesn't